Once you have a brain cancer diagnosis in your child, your life stops as you know it.
Our story really started back in 2005, where we had our eldest son at the time. Life was moving along quite nicely for us, and we hit a significant pothole when he was diagnosed with a brain tumour.
They called us in and the doctor put his hand on David's knee and just said, "I'm sorry, this is the worst news I could possibly give you."
It just turned everything that we knew was normal on its head.
One of the most important, I think, and exciting breakthroughs in cancer research recently has been our knowledge that tumours secrete DNA. This is incredibly important because it now means that we can watch in real time the response of that tumour to the therapy, to the radiotherapy, to the chemotherapy, without having to go into the brain itself.
Using some data from an aggressive model of a particular paediatric brain tumour, medulloblastoma, we discovered palbociclib, which actually prevents the cells from growing. So we were able to use this agent and actually show that not only did the tumours stop growing, but we're actually able to cause them to regress. So we actually got the tumours shrink away.
Brain cancer is an absolutely devastating disease. We actually already have reasonably effective treatments. One of the drugs we use is a chemotherapy drug called vincristine. Unfortunately, vincristine causes really serious side effects. So our research has discovered that we can actually use an existing drug that's safe and on the market for other diseases and basically repurpose this drug to prevent chemotherapy-induced side effects.
Tom started to get bad headaches. We went to a doctor and we were told he had migraine, and in the end, when he was vomiting, he'd lost feeling in his arm. He kept telling me, "Mum, I know I have an arm, but I can't feel my arm." That's when I went in and said, "I want a CT scan." And I sat there when we had the CT scan. It was the day before he went back to school in the third term, and I actually watched it on the screen, and I looked at his brain and I thought, it looks a little strange, but maybe it's meant to look like that, because I didn't really know any different. I'd never seen a CT scan before. But we were summoned immediately to the doctor.
Thomas was a young boy sort of in primary school. Had a very large tumour in the top part of his brain, and he was very, very unwell initially. I think he was actually on the first trial that we did in collaboration with the St Jude Children's Research Hospital. So Thomas was treated on one of those studies. He had that over about an 8-month period, and he was incredibly unwell initially, but he tolerated it. He just strode through that because he's such a strong young man.
Tom's life looks pretty good. He's nearly 26. He's living and working in Manhattan as a software engineer for Spotify, and he travels and he's just living the life. I find that a lot of the people who help and donate are people who've been through it, and they're the people who can least afford it. So for me, it's really important that we have corporates and other people on board, that it doesn't have to be a lot of money. A little bit of money towards research makes so much difference. It might only be a little bit of money to them, but all put together and with grants from the likes of Brainchild, it really can make a difference.